Let's start talking about some specific dysfunctions that people experience. I met with a guy just yesterday and worked on something that I work on a lot with people who have ADHD, and it has to do with their peripheral vision. So a lot of you know what peripheral vision is, and for those of you that don't, I'm going to explain it. So when you're focused on something in front of you, usually that thing that you're focused on takes up 5 to 10% of your visual field. Everything else around that focus object represents the other 90 to 95% of your vision, and that's what your peripheral vision comes from, okay? Now there's a part of your brain in your hypothalamus, it's part of your limbic system, and it regulates and helps you to process that peripheral vision, whatever's in that environment vision on the sides and also in between your eyes, but usually that's not as important. If a person has a difficulty processing peripheral vision, it can cause attention problems. So picture this. If you're trying to read a book and you're looking at the book, or even let's say the words that you're reading make up that 5 to 10% of your focus field, okay? Everything else around the book in your peripheries still has to get processed because your brain is seeing it. So it's getting regulated by your hypothalamus. But if your brain has a difficult time regulating that information, then your brain is going to have a hard time not switching and focusing on those things in your environment. I'll give you another example. When you're reading, if you can imagine that you're reading just one line, if you're looking at a word, let's say in the middle of a sentence, and the word is ball, the word before that is being picked up by your left peripheral vision, and the word after that is being picked up by your right peripheral vision. So as your eyes are moving across the line, they're picking up, you're seeing in your focus field, you're seeing the word, and in your peripheral, you're seeing the word before that word, and in your other peripheral, you're seeing the word after that word. So think about it. If your brain is supposed to see each word 3 times, then if you read something once, and if the brain is processing its peripheral vision, you should be reading each word 3 times, or at least your brain is. You might not consciously read it 3 times, but your brain sees each word 3 times, at least. This is part of what helps to give your brain context when it comes to reading. Okay, but picture this. If your brain doesn't regulate and control that peripheral information, then it can cause some issues. One of those is that your brain isn't gathering the information of that next word or the word before the one you're focused on. The other issue that can arise is that if you're not processing that next word, and as your eye makes that really subtle movement to the next word to read, it will skip over the next word, especially if it's small. So I hear this a lot from parents who have kids who are struggling with decoding words and fluency, is their child will skip really small words like it, and, the, and, to, it. And it's not because they can't read the word, it's because, part of the reason is because that peripheral vision isn't picking it up and processing it before their eyes get to it. And as a result, their eyes skip over it, okay? I think that's all I was going to talk about today. If you guys have questions, or if you want to know about another specific function that you're wondering about, and you want to know what's going on in the brain, or you want to know the format, how to fix it, post it in the comments below, and I'll try and make a video as soon as I can. Thanks. See you guys.